Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and in today's video we're going to look at your career path and how to choose the right career path for you. Now, for some people out there, you may feel completely overwhelmed with all of the variety of different career paths that are available to you and not really sure which ones to pick. On the other hand, you may be one of those people who is completely underwhelmed and really can't seem to find anything that piques your interest. Well, hopefully this video will help. The first thing that you can look at is really more on the discovery side. So thinking through what are some of the things that really do interest you. So you can do this by asking a few different questions. So the first one would be, what would you want to do if you won the lottery? Now, for most of us, of course, we would say buy our dream car or dream home or travel the world. But once all of that is done, how would you choose to spend your time? Now, for me, I would probably spend my time still traveling. But it's not just about the what you would want to do, but also why. So when I think to myself, why would I want to continue traveling? For me, it's because I'm vastly interested in people and cultures and really exploring the world. This interest has actually helped me a great deal through my career as a recruiter and currently as a career coach. My interest in people and different cultures really does serve me well. The next question to ask yourself is, what areas or what experiences have you had in your previous work experience or even at school that you really enjoyed? So this could be previous projects you've worked on or even different subjects that you studied in school. Now again, the question here to ask yourself is why? What was it about that particular project, assignment, or maybe subject that was of particular interest to you? Another question to ask yourself is, when you're looking at your friends or family members, what sort of jobs do they have that you find interesting? Now, you can also speak with your friends or family members about what their job is to find out a bit more information, but what is it about those jobs that you find particularly interesting? Another thing to consider is there anything that your friends or family members may have mentioned to you that you would be good at, that they think you would be good at? And did they give you a reason why? So, as an example, my father has often told me that he thought that I would be a good teacher. And the reason why he said this is because, in his opinion, he thinks that I can take complex ideas and break them down into smaller, easier to understand chunks and translate this to a broad audience. So thank you, Dad, for that vote of confidence. But that's just one example. And you may have heard similar things about yourself. Now, finally, a question that you can ask yourself is, what do you want to be known for? So try to think about your retirement party. So think about, who might be there, but also what do you want people to say about you? And what would you want to be remembered for? So it could be some sort of a medical breakthrough, or it could be how you may have inspired other people. But whatever that is, really start making a list of all of those things. You can also think about what you could do to help you accomplish that goal. It's still a good idea to have a healthy dose of reality when you're sort of thinking through different career paths. So the next thing you should do is a bit of a reality check. So the first thing to look at is, are you qualified? So as an example, say if you are a marketing professional and you're interested in pursuing a job as a lawyer, you likely will have to go back to school to get your law degree and then pass the bar. Now, if you're truly interested in doing that sort of thing and you have the time and money to be able to invest in such a pursuit, that's fantastic. But for most people, that's not a reality for them. So you can also just think about what it is about, say, being a lawyer that would be of interest to you. And maybe how could you infuse those elements in your current career path? The second question to consider is, can you make a living out of this? When I was doing my undergrad, as an example, I was interested in the field of healthcare ethics. But when I sort of looked at this more objectively and wanted to see what sort of opportunities might be available, they were few and far between. That made my decision to sort of pursue other career paths a much easier decision to make. Now finally, you want to look at the lifestyle, and does this fit within your lifestyle, a particular career path? So some people may be really interested in a career like a management consultant. One of the key things with being a management consultant, however, is that for the most part, you may be required to travel probably 100% of the time. So you would be spending extended periods of time away from home and your family. For some people, this isn't a problem because it's just themselves. For others, however, if you do have a family, small children, or pets that are important to you, then traveling 100% of the time may not really be a viable option. Okay, so now that you've gone through your reality check and you sort of narrowed down a few different options, you can always sort of try before you decide. The first way that you can try, of course, is to volunteer. So not only can you sort of discover whether or not this is actually a career path that you would like to pursue, but you can also gain some valuable experience, build your network, and all while doing some great things for your community. The next option that you have, of course, is taking up a hobby. So especially if this is something that's more of an artistic pursuit, such as baking or painting or music, or even if it is an activity, so something like, teaching yoga or another fitness class. Taking this up as a hobby is really great alternative, or at least a way to sort of try before you decide. In addition, you may even decide to freelance. So this is another great way to not only gain the experience and build your network, but it's also a way to sort of, try to work in this particular profession to see if it would be a viable option and a way to actually be able to support yourself. Of course, you should still always remember your network and to tap on your network to see if there's anyone that you know or anyone that might be a friend of a friend who works in a particular career path that you're interested in pursuing. You can sit with them in an interest interview just to find out a little bit more about the pros and cons of that particular career path. If you have a mentor, it's a great idea as well to sit down with your mentor, because they can usually, if they don't really necessarily know much about that particular career path, they might be able to coach you or to ask you questions to see if this truly is an area that would be of interest for a job or an interest as a hobby. And finally, see if you can find opportunities to job shadow. So this might be easier for those of you who are currently working, but if there's a particular career path that you're interested in that's available in your current workplace, take out the time and seek out opportunities where you can shadow people in that particular role. Another great way for you to try before you decide. So now, pulling this all together, if you want to sort of put this together in a nice little package, I like to use what's known as a Venn diagram. So it's just, 3 circles, but basically we want to have 3 categories that we're looking at. So the first being the things that you like to do. So where have you found, enjoyment in different activities that you've pursued, different subjects in school, that sort of thing. The next piece, of course, is what are you good at? What are your skills? So that could include your qualifications as well. And finally, what are your values? For some people, it might be, money is a value, work-life balance, working in a role that you find noble. So just think about whatever values are important to you. With this particular exercise, you may not be able to do this in one sitting, but hopefully the previous questions that you've asked yourself will help you sort of find some of these themes. The idea here, if you can discover a career path that hits on all 3 areas, then likely that's going to be a career path that's better for you. Now, just a few final thoughts for you. There are some other resources available to you that can help you along this journey. So the first are a few books, and I've mentioned a couple of books in previous posts as well, but there are a few books out there. I'm sure that there's actually tons and tons of books, but some of the ones that seem to be most popular are the What Color is Your Parachute book. There's just a lot of great reviews on Amazon, and I've got a link below. The next one is What Are You Meant to Do? So another great book on Amazon, and great just based on some of the reviews. I actually haven't read that one. And then a final one is Business Model You. So this is using the theories from design thinking. If that's an area that you're interested in and know a little bit about, you might find that book speaks to you a bit more. In addition to the plethora of books that are available to you, there are self-assessment tests that you can try as well. There is one that I found, and I'll have the link again below, called the MAP self-assessment test. The reason why I like this, I find it really comprehensive, but also there's a free version. So although there is also the paid version, which isn't overly expensive, I think the free version still provides enough context for you, so you don't really have to break the bank over some of these self-assessment tests. Now, the whole idea here, of course, is for you to help you know what it is that you're looking for. So when you're on your job search journey, knowing what it is that you're looking for is incredibly helpful, because after all, if you don't know what that is, how will you ever know that you found it? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any other helpful hints and tips on how to discover the right career path for you, please do leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions or would like to see another video or would like to collaborate with me, I'd love to hear from you. You can of course reach me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever works for you. And for personalized advice, of course, come on over to my website and I'd be happy to help. Always remember too, if you like this video, please press like and subscribe to my channel. And thanks again for watching. Until next time, happy hunting!